You ever wonder if time travel is actually real? I mean, we all see it in movies, right? But what if the proof has been right under our noses this whole time, just hiding in old photos and films? Well, today, we're diving into 5 of the absolute wildest pieces of evidence that could suggest time travelers are already here.
So get ready to have your mind blown a little bit, because we're about to look at 5 incredible cases that seriously mess with our whole idea of time. Are they just weird coincidences, or is there something much stranger going on here? All right, let's jump right in. First up, case file number 1, the 1928 cell phone. Yeah, you heard that right. We're going way back to a Charlie Chaplin movie premiere. Picture it, all the glitz and glamour of old Hollywood, and then there's this woman who seems to be chatting on a device that, well, shouldn't even be a dream for another 50 years. Okay, so this footage, it's totally real. You see the crowd there, everyone just kind of hanging out, but then, look, there she is. She's holding this small, dark thing up to her ear, and it really looks like she's talking into it. It's something we do a million times a day now, but back in 1928, that would have looked completely bizarre.
Now, the skeptics will say, oh, it's probably just an old hearing aid, something like a hearing trumpet. But just look at the difference. Those old hearing aids were big, clunky things. They look nothing like the slim object she's holding. And plus, that still doesn't explain why it looks like she's talking into it, which brings up the big question, who on earth could she be talking to?
Okay, moving on to case file number 2. This one's a classic, the time-traveling hipster. We're jumping forward to 1941, at the grand reopening of a bridge in British Columbia. The photo itself is 100% authentic, just a regular old picture. Or is it? Because it's hiding a pretty weird secret. So, you look at this crowd, and it's exactly what you'd expect from the early 40s, right? Guys in suits and hats, women in their dresses, a perfect little time capsule. But then, your eyes land on this guy. You gotta look closely, but once you see him, you can't unsee him. He sticks out like a sore thumb. It's like he literally just stepped out of a time machine from our era.
Let's break it down. He's got these modern-looking sunglasses, like wraparound shades. He's wearing a t-shirt with a printed logo on it, and he's holding what looks for all the world like a portable camera. Now, people have pointed out that technically you could find versions of these things back then, but they were super rare. And nobody, I mean nobody, would have been wearing them all together like this. It's why he got the nickname the time-traveling hipster. He just does not belong. All right, for our third case, we're shifting gears a bit. We're moving away from weird photos and into a story of financial success that's, well, it's basically impossible. This one has it all. The FBI, a crazy amount of money, and an explanation that is, quite literally, out of this world. So let me introduce you to a guy named Andrew Carlssin. Back in 2003, he gets picked up by the FBI. They're thinking this guy has to be guilty of insider trading. And why? Because in just 2 weeks, he took a measly $800 and turned it into an absolute mountain of cash. And when I say a mountain of cash, I mean $350 million. $350 million. He apparently made 126 super risky trades and won every single time. Statistically, that's just not possible. So of course the feds thought he had some illegal info. But what he told them was way weirder. When they sat him down for questioning, Carlssin supposedly confessed. He told them, I'm a time traveler from the year 2256. He said he just knew what was going to happen in the stock market. And then the story gets even crazier. He supposedly vanished from a locked jail cell. Now, it's really important to say this whole story first showed up in a satirical newspaper. There are no official FBI or SEC records about this guy at all, so it's probably more of a modern urban legend, but man, what a story, right?
So, we just heard about a guy claiming to be from the future. Now, let's flip that on its head. Case file number 4 is about a man who seems to have stumbled into our time from the distant past. For this one, we're heading to the chaos of New York City in the 1950s.
Imagine this. It's June 1950. Times Square. Cars and people everywhere. And then, bam! Witnesses say a man just sort of appeared in the middle of the street. And he was dressed like he was from the 1800s. We're talking full-on Victorian clothes, even mutton chop sideburns. And sadly, he was so confused and panicked that he was hit by a car and killed right there. But here's where it gets really weird. When the police searched his pockets, what they found was just astonishing. He had old money from the 1870s, a letter that was postmarked in 1876, and business cards with the name Rudolph Fentz. So they did some digging, and Guess what? They found a missing persons case for a guy named Rudolph Fentz who disappeared in 1876. It's an amazing story, but just like the last one, it has a catch. Researchers have pretty much traced this whole thing back to a science fiction story that was published in 1951.
Okay, on to our final case file. And this one might be the biggest and most famous conspiracy of them all. We're talking about the Philadelphia experiment. It's a story about a super-secret military project during World War II that supposedly went very, very wrong.
The main source for this story is a man named Bielek. He claimed he was there in 1943 on a Navy ship called the USS Eldridge. He said the military was trying to figure out how to make the ship invisible to radar. But, according to Bielek, something went haywire. The ship didn't just become invisible, it jumped through time.
And his story is absolutely wild. He claimed it was launched forward in time, landing first in the year 2137, where he spent 6 weeks. And then he says he went even further into the future, all the way to 2749. He talked about seeing these huge floating cities, technology we can't even imagine. Eventually, he said he made his way back. Now, for the record, the U.S. Navy has always said this experiment never happened, and critics have poked a lot of holes in Bielek's story over the years, pointing out how it changed.
So, let's just recap real quick. We've got a woman on a cell phone decades before they were invented. A guy who looks like he's from today stuck in a photo from 1941. A Wall Street genius who said he was from the future. A man from the 1800s who literally appeared in the middle of Times Square. And a supposed survivor of a secret government time travel experiment. Every one of these stories is just baffling. And yeah, even when there are logical explanations, there's always that tiny little seed of doubt, isn't there? So what do you think? Are these just clever hoaxes or simple mistakes? Or are we actually seeing little glimpses of people who have become unstuck in time? We've laid out the evidence. Now, it's up to you to decide.